We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist, and it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Twingate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Twingate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen.
Well, good morning. Hopefully we got a little bit of sound quality. Made it home from Tennessee at about 2 o'clock this morning. You think you got weather there, you ain't seen nothing. Of course, we're in Utah. We're used to it. Wow, what big that was landing that plane in that nightmare last night in the middle of the night. But, boy, do I have a tale to tell. Behind enemy lines at Oak Ridge, oh boy, is that place creepy. We have a lot to talk about Fukushima. Of course, Megan Rice. Of course, the whole cultural dynamic that we've morphed into is a sick, backwards, upside-down, twisted, postured, groomed bunch of sheeple. They've let us right off the cliff, and we drank the Kool-Aid. Jim Jones wouldn't believe this one. First off, the Frozen Wall gig that's going on, that's being widely reported in the mainstream, ridiculous, not even, I mean, such a ridiculous term for it, the propaganda spearhead. It's a joke. They've been doing a lot of times. That Christina today said the new Iceman then added to the Fukushima circus. I love her quote, by the way, and that's Radchick who came up with this name that I use when she said, the only thing being controlled about Fukushima is us. Oh boy. As CBS goes over there, I'll tell you how grotesque the CBS report was. Now, remember, we have the documentation from the president of CBS. We have it in our hands as activists of the president going emails back and forth to 60 Minutes saying the only way you're going to control this and you pass it down, keep this hidden. We need to do a story on 60 Minutes, blah, 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 blah. This is in the 60 days of Fukushima. The report, when they go over there, I'll tell you how grotesque it is. The photographs they're using of the spent fuel pools in number 4, number 1, they're not even Fukushima. It's like they have this Chernobyl playbook. They have this playbook they use, and I mean, it's so uncreative. It's so unimaginative. It's like when people saw the government orchestrating everything. I'm like, are you kidding? These are the fucks that can't even find their fucking wallet. I mean, they're pathetic. They're pathetic. We've got their ass kicked so bad because we're grassroots, dynamic, we're organic. I want to talk about my trip to Tennessee, which I'll tell you what, I've done a lot of things in my life. A lot of things in my life. Never. Wow, oh my God is all I've got to say about that. I'll get into the whole dynamic. Got to see Megan. Got to be with all her people. And it's Megan, by the way. And that's officially from Megan Jr., who had a long conversation in the airport with her yesterday. I mean, Megan Rice's nieces, her family, You know, they're intellectuals, they're beautiful, they're powerful, they're grounded. I want to tell people this right here, right now, that this is coming right from in the airport yesterday. The whole ironies of all this. Megan's niece, Megan, spent time with Megan. This is what she told me yesterday. We had a long conversation, and this is who knows her the most intimately. I mean, all the people from Plowshare that know her and everything, so I know dynamic, but I know her in a very personal way. She told me, Kevin, she needs to be out. She's ready to be out. I mean, she wants to be out. It's taken its toll on her. And, I mean, we know how tough she is. I believe her birthday's tomorrow, April. We had her birthday party. That courtroom, the potluck out at the Savior of the Christ Church in Knoxville, Tennessee, which I attended the whole thing. Now, think about this. Here's me full of leukemia. This battle that we're going on. One side of me is an ordained Roman Catholic woman priest holding one of my hands. The other side of me is Sister McDougall, maybe the most powerful nun, maybe in North America. Hey, some years she's holding my other hand. The old Pete Seeger, one of his very best friends, 80-something-year-old, one of the greatest activists in American history. These are the peace-loving thing, with his hands on my head, giving me a blessing, hugging me, tears coming down his cheeks. This is the dynamic. This is where I was. This is what it was all about. I was in Oak Ridge, behind enemy lines, given a tour by a lifelong resident of Oak Ridge, Steve Norris. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Young man got arrested out there. The place is beyond creepy. It's beyond creepy. Because I did multiple interviews in Knoxville with Knoxville media, and I got to say, I got to know the Knoxville media personally. I stood out there freezing my ass off. And we stood out there all day. I would go in and out of the courtroom. Knoxville media covered it. Knoxville media does cover it. They're the only ones that cover it. The only ones that cover it. And me, I covered it. I was in the courtroom. There was enough spiritual power, intellectual power at the greatest potluck in human history. And you think that's over the top? Oh, no. Oh, no. We're sitting in there, the who's who of the spiritual world, the who's who of the intellectual power, everybody who's ever been anybody in a real way, they're there. Because I'll tell you why. Because the ones of us that are really, truly anti-nuclear and really feel their bone marrows, not the ones that are out trying to write books, trying to freaking grandstand, not the Helen Caldicots, not Arnie Gunder Shields, not the Chris Busbys. Oh, no. Oh, no. Did you see any of them? Oh, no. The true, the people that have spent time in jails, the people that have spent time in bone marrow transplant units, fighting for their life. Oh, yeah, they were there. The pure, true, not postured and groomed Catholicism, postured and groomed evangelicals, Mormonism, whatever, Judaism. There was every single religious leader of every denomination you could think. The Buddhist monks were there. Judaism was represented there. Catholicism on every different angle was represented there. The people, the cancer victims, they were there. They were in that room, and their attorney. You could see this has changed his life. It really has changed. Everybody who's come into contact with this, it has changed their life so dramatically. He gets up, 100 people in that room. And by the way, the food was spectacular. One of the old nuns, I said, it was potluck. I didn't know what to bring, red or white wine. She says, oh, Kevin, come here. I've got some special wine for you. So, 80-something-year-old, beautiful, incredible nun, giving me the good stuff. He says in his speech, as the lawyer got up, by the way, very well representative. I'm sitting with a friend of the Megan Rice's family, the retired old head of environmental studies at Yale. And by the way, she's not the Yale connection, the other side who fights back against it, the old school professor. She spoke in that courtroom. I got to hear, not only in the courtroom, but at the potluck, we got to hear all this. They laid it out there inside that church. He says, the attorney, everybody who's ever been incarcerated for fighting back against the nuclear lie and telling the truth, just simply telling the truth of the nuclear lie, who's ever sat in a jail cell and been locked up for simply telling the truth, please stand up. I think there was 4 people sitting down. Remember, most of these are elderly people. That morning, Pete Seeger's passes. These people are a lot of these people are Pete Seeger's people in a very personal way. It's incredible, incredible ironies. One of the worst weather days in Knoxville, Tennessee history. Cold, did the judge do the right thing? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, I know this. That judge was moved. Some of the greatest speeches in human history were given in that courtroom. The old bishop, pneumonia, who was scheduled to speak. The judge, I think he's a good man. He allowed the whole presentation to be done together. I got to hear Michael and Greg's prepared speeches, and I don't know exactly what they're going to say, but, his wife read piece of it, and their family members read pieces of it in the church. And all I can say is those are 2 intense dudes that, hey, on the right side of history, they are amazing, amazing, hard-nosed, tough-ass dudes. Wow, 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 wow. Megan's prepared saying it's going to be something on the 18th at 9 o'clock. I'll be back in that courtroom. I'll be sitting in the same place that I was. The power inside that room. This, Megan Rice's trial, Megan Rice is being tortured. Do you think, oh no? Now you think about this, how this is played out. Megan Rice, due process, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? You know how long she's been in jail? She hasn't even been sentenced yet. Did the judge do the right thing, shut it down? Snow day. Was it reason Snow that he shut it down? Maybe. I don't think so. He shut it down early because those speeches in there moved him so powerfully. I'll tell you how I do know this. Yesterday morning, I went back over to the courtroom. I'm in there. And the court wasn't going to be open. They opened it. The courtroom opened for one trial and their security. There's an African-American man in their security. This guy, more than likely, maybe he did play in the NFL, and if he did, he played offensive line. Huge. 350. You know the type. I says, hey, I just need to get it nailed down on detail. If it's when and where saying, and they're kind of ho-hon. He walks out and he says, you're with the protesters? Yes, sir. You could see, he says, it will be at 9 o'clock, whatever. If there's anything that I can do to help, whatever. And you could see he was teared up. Everybody was teared up. I'll tell you what, I thought tears. I still am right now, even thinking about it. These are nonviolent. These aren't people with guns and weapons. They're true. These are people that believe in these are first people. He died that morning. Standing inside that courtroom when he's going there. I'm looking around. I'm recognizing who people are. They're coming up and hugging me, hugging them. Ho, 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 ho. The whole July 12th dynamic out there. The Fukushima. This woman walking around. The only person there. She's walking around with her book, trying to get people to sign her book. I'm like, really? She started on her Helen Caldicott bullshit. Helen Caldicott's about Helen Caldicott. All Helen Caldicott has been about, she's made a fortune, an absolute fortune on being the so-called anti-nuclear. When she's not anti-nuclear. Gunner Shield's not anti-nuclear. Busby, they're not anti-nuclear. Anybody who's made money over the last 30, 40 years, they weren't there. None of them were there. It just proves to me they're not anti-nuclear. They're both making money off this cause. That's what they are. Oh, I'll be an expert witness here of this, that when there are no experts. The real experts were all in that room. every one of them. She comes up to me and she says, you know, I'm like, she starts on her Helen Keller and says, where the fuck is she? I'm sitting right there when they were having this conversation, holding my hand, is Sister McDougall from Philadelphia. On the other side, the Roman Catholic ordained priest holding the other hand. I'm like, where the fuck is she? You know, by the way, you know I love Carol Gallagher. And I covered for you, Carol. I hope you're listening. Megan's niece says, you tired? You know Carol? Yeah. Where's she? I says, her in poor health. But I'll tell you what, she sure made her way to the Dead Doomsday Clock Symposium in their museum. I says, oh, she's in the club. And I love Carol, but don't get me wrong, I absolutely love her. She served for my father. She's the only one I give a break. I love her. She's the greatest. And she says to me, Carol Gallagher, which Carol Gallagher, she hasn't seen her father. Her husband's in poor health. She's been but Carol Gallagher, I was like, really? You just want these? And like, oh, she's in poor. No, she's not. I mean, it's outrageous to me the way this thing's played out. Megan Rice is being tortured. Is it under the Constitution of the United States? 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, which nobody even knows. They want to talk about the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. That's all you know. You freaking groomed it. Should have ripped that and shredded that up one side down the other, which it is no answer. That's no answer. Due process, no due process. The right to speedy trial, the right to the whole speedy sentencing process, cruel and unusual punishment. Cruel, what they're doing is beyond cruel. It's one of the cruelest. I think about it. I was thinking about sitting in the Knoxville airport. By the way, that airport is banned, and it's a tough place to get into. There's no public transportation. Knoxville's clean. Downtown Knoxville is historic. The Eastern Museum in Knoxville is magnificent. Old downtown Knoxville, they've done an incredible job with it. I'm sitting in that airport, and I'm looking out across the ridges, and I'm thinking about DeSoto. That's 500 years ago. He's standing there on one of those ridges, comes up through Knoxville. Everybody has to go through Knoxville. They come up the path. It's the only way. That's where everything that ever comes to a head, geographically, historically, natural resources. Why wouldn't the energy debate there played out? Megan's done a magnificent job. She's painted the government into the corner to the creepy, the dragon slayer, queen, ass-kissing, ring-kissing, Longshanks punks that they are. They're fucking punks. Make no fucking mistake about it. They are punks. P.U. punks. Oak Ridge, freaking their hair sprayed, freaking Dynamic, the Manhattan Project. I met a woman who says, got thrown up around 3 times, her family, in the eminent domain. First, when they made the park, the Smoky Mountain Range, which I think people would accept and say, hey, that was good they did that. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Spectacular. Second time, kicked off Tennessee Valley Authority. TVA, by the way, Charles Clutch lived right on Cumberland Avenue, which the courtroom is on Cumberland Avenue. I mean, the ironies are staggering, which his aunt is the women's suffrage powerhouse. Right there where Megan's being sentenced in that incredible courtroom, that historical moment in time, which is going to be, I'm telling you, standing in that courtroom in that day, I'm telling you, beyond powerful. The ironies of that place and that time and that pivotal spot. Here I'm looking out across that ridge sitting there and knowing DeSoto 500 years ago, right there. Tells the Cherokee, I need 40 women slaves now. I need 100 men slaves. I need them now. Cherokee knew. This is DeSoto, 500, the first. He's in there. This is how spiritual and smart the Cherokee were. The elder, he says, he knew that they were going to rape and maim and kill them. He used his social skills to spirituality, and he says, hey, yeah, you got it. But I need time. I need to work there. We'll have them. We'll have him right here for you in the morning. We'll have them. Of course, by the morning, the Cherokee were gone. But as the woman said in the eminent domain 3 times, the 3rd time was the Manhattan Project. They came in. It wasn't a debate that went back and forth and the due process. It was get out and get out. Now you have to get out by multiple mega generations of people. Get out now. That's what nuclear teaches. That's how the nuclear industry plays. They are above all the rules. They think they're above all the fucking rules. Know this and know this factually. Any of you nuclear fighters, any people, peace lovers, any truth tellers, everyone. You know this and know it right fucking now. White 12 is breaking the law. White 12 is breaking the law in a grotesque fashion, and Megan Rice knows this. Greg and Michael know this. The Plowshares know this. Plowshares is as authentic and truth-telling as it gets, and they are unwavering. They will not waver on the truth. The non-proliferation treaties that were signed, they are violating them grotesquely at White 12. At White 12 is, if people don't know what White 12 is in Oak Ridge, that's where the Manhattan Project is. It's a whole giant community. So I actually went over to the high school, which talk about creepy at the high school. I mean, it's an indoctrination factory from hell. It's sick. That's where they take nuclear waste from all these grotesque nuclear reactors that we have all over, and they turn it into nuclear weapons. There is no answer for the nuclear waste. The answer is turn it into more nuclear weapons. We have enough to blow this earth up 1,000,000 times over. It's like the beautiful nuns who spoke, and one of the greatest speeches I've ever heard, ever in my entire life, maybe the greatest speech I ever heard, who replaced the bishop because he had pneumonia. She talked about usury. She says, I'll tell you why we do this. So we can point our nuclear weapons as the bully that we are, and we can threaten other nations so we can steal their natural resources. But it is not we. We don't get any benefit from it. It's pay the dragon for Queen Thesis. That's who it is. They pointed at them and they threatened them. We're taking your natural resources. That's what they do at White 12. They're still making more nuclear, bigger, stronger, more aggressive nuclear weapons than ever before. That's what they're doing there. It's against the law. We signed the international treaties that in good faith we would get rid of them. Have we have fewer than we have now? Not really. The number, they'll say, oh yeah, we had 700, now we have 5. Oh no, that's a lie. Because the weapons that we have now, what they've done, they've enriched every nuclear bomb and just made them bigger and stronger, and by thousands of times. When we signed the non-proliferation treaty, what the power that they have to annihilate and threaten the world. From the day we signed it to what they have now, thousands of times more is what they have. They're the ones. Megan Rice should be given a medal. Michael and Greg, they should have never been charged. You got a punk-ass prosecutor who thinks he's representing, his hair sprayed for, God have mercy on his soul, is all I can say to him. They charged him with $53,000 in restitution. What a joke. The prosecutor wanted $300,000. What, for some chain link? I'll go out there. I'm an ex-contractor. I'll do it for free. The vials of blood that they sprinkle know this. A lot of people in Tennessee don't know this. A lot of people don't know this story. One of Pete Seeker's people. One of the great freaking peace-loving, beautiful activists of all time from Chicago. When he died, he left vials of blood. That someday hoped that they would be sprinkled in the greatest head of the snake. Right, 12, the other head of the snake right here in Utah. Inner Solutions, dumped by the way, Energy Solutions. Oh, the Jazz playing their arena. Dirty Herbie, the governor, loves them as they poison you, burning nuclear waste into the atmosphere under the Patriot Act. Carte blanche. These evil, evil monsters that they are, never evil, are giving you leukemia, giving your children leukemia, poisoning your water, poisoning your food. It's the most immoral thing in the world. And you don't think Megan Rice knows that? $53,000 really for some chain link? The most heavily secured. Taxation without representation? Oh boy. How much are we paying? We private contract as we let Blackwater and Dick Cheney, the United States of Halliburton just rob and pillage. How many trillions of dollars are missing from Dick Cheney when he robbed out of Iraq? How many trillions of dollars the Pentagon missing? They're going to hammer an 83-year-old freaking nun, 84-year-old nun, and abuse her unconstitutionally, torture her. She's been in the holding cell for How many months at 55 degrees? It's beyond outrageous. It makes it literally, I was thinking about her as the person. My mom's 80 years old. Megan Rice is a tough woman, smart woman. But the fact of the matter, she's 84 years old. She's a peace-loving nun who did what she had to do. She's the Rosa Parks of our time on Balco. She goes in there, they go in there, sprinkle those little vials. They spray paint some biblical scriptures. That's what Plowshares does. They're unwavering. When she did it, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe she did it. I was jumping up and down for joy. I had tears running down my cheeks the day that I found out she did it. I'm like, oh my God, it's the bravest person on earth. But then it plays out. They're in there for hours. There is no security. The first witness up yesterday, I got to tell you, was the first witness up there. And by the way, they single filed us into the courtroom. And I have video of all this. I have video of everything. Of course, not inside the courtroom. They won't let you say it. But, while we're going in, I've kept great historical records with my camera. And I have it all. And I have it backed up. I have it secured. I have it everywhere. And I'll put it all up. Photographs, video of all of this. Shot a lot of video. A lot of intense photographs. They filed us in. We filed the motion. The attorneys filed the motion to get the venue changed. There's a woman from Chattanooga full of cancer that's sitting right there with us. She just kept, I've seen, there's her, Megan Rice's nieces. Right there, we're standing there. We're having a conversation, waiting to get in. And this is a woman from Chattanooga. She's been through this exact identical courtroom many times. They have the ability to separate and get whole crowds in there. Oh, no. That's what they do to us. And we got 200 people waiting in single file line. We were there early. We're waiting early in the blizzard, in the snow. We're inside there, one single line. We're in. The last person didn't even go in there till well after 11 o'clock when the trial started at 9. The first one up is the security guard out there at Y12. By the way, I got to tell you, Megan, Greg, and Michael's attorney, wow, what a brilliant job he did. The judge was moved emotionally, hardcore. How could you not? It was impossible not to be moved. To pay the dragons for their pieces, the robbing of the treasury, the whole, as I call it, the post-ignorance project. That is me, the opposite of the Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project is going amok. It's out of control. It's insane. Blown up the military-industrial complex, that's not a cliche. Read it. When Eisenhower wrote that, he was talking about Oak Ridge. He was talking about it. And don't you love it? They changed their name multiple times. Energy Solutions. By the way, it was went for $35 a share to delisted. Their investigation by, of course, we know how that goes. The SEC, these agencies of the Pope, the NRC. Megan's, one of her nieces told me, I said, I've been emailing the Pope off and over and over and over. A lot of that. Megan Rice can't get the Pope's freaking ear. And I have a lot of good things to say about Pope Francis. He picked Francis the usury. And by the way, that speech she gave, she wanted a usury big time. You know how I go. Where is he? She says, yeah, the Pope get involved when pigs fly. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But as a recorded history, what a burden Megan's had to pay. 4 foot nothing, 80-something-year-old man. She has to be our point. But she has Greg and Michael. And by the way, those are two intense, tough fucking dudes. I was talking, and I'll say this. If I ever got into a street fight, trust me, Tennessee's got a hard-ass edge to it, but come to my town, come to Ogden, Utah, I'll show you a fucking hard edge. You think you're a tough fucker? Come here and act fucking tough. This is probably the hardest edge fucking city in America. There's no doubt in my mind right here where I live. Say, you think I was born with these scars across my face? It took years of living in this violent place. Don't underestimate me. I'm a tough fucker. I really am. All-state wrestler, I never lost in 4 fucking years. Like I said, I fear no one, never have. I am fearless. like my father was fearless. I am fearless. Those two dudes, if I ever got into a fight, I know who I want in my corner. I want Greg and Michael in my corner. I wouldn't fuck with either one of them. I'm telling you, talk about intense dudes. That they use that intensity, they're supposed to use that intensity. The nuclear cartel is evil. Fukushima is the capitulation to it all. And I would say this, what part of Fukushima do you not get, you fuck? Everybody out there. Everybody is regurgitating, Santa Monica's going to start testing the kelp. Really? Really? 1,050 days later? Are you fucking kidding me? Testing the kelp. Fukushima is ongoing. It's never happened in the history of mankind. It's the greatest catastrophe in human history. 3 full core meltdowns. Nuclear fission. We don't even know what nuclear fission is. We don't even know what's releasing. We know it's not good, and we know it's epic gamma rays. It is ongoing. What don't you understand about that? You act like, it's going to it'll be cleaned up in 40 years. They're going, that's shooting off the hip. TEPCO themselves, we're relying on yet developed technologies to cure this. They have no answers over there. You can see everything they sell. That's why I protested at Livermore Lab. You got to realize, I've got leukemia. My platelet count still, I get abused at all levels. I get abused by the hospital. I get abused I was turned down. Get this. My father killed him in the test site. A Semper Fi Marine, no medals, no money, murdered by the nuclear cartel. Murdered by the United States government. Do you know I got AML leukemia? The survival rate, the type I have, OS de novo, the survival time. Do you know I was turned down disability? I've lived on nothing. I've had a few people out there, Lonnie Park up in Oregon, who's helped me out. And she doesn't have money. Jeff Kirk up in Canada sent me a little bit of money. Margaret Stover down in Australia has sent me some money. Karen and Lenny Lamb paid for my room in Tennessee. You know, I've had a few people, what's her name, in Washington State. So many of these people have sent me $100 here, $200 there. This computer that my laptop I use was given to me by Brian. The necklace that I wear, he made for me. Everything that I've done is with private donation. I've survived. I forked over every penny I had to get in that bone marrow, and I mean every penny. I'm a very successful. I'm a talented guy in a lot of ways. My hedge fund career, last year I was on Wall Street, I made $1 million that year. My bonus was $900. Not because they just gave it to me. I was very, very good at what I did. I walked through a lot of dynamics. A lot of it had to do with cancer deaths. It overrides everything, as I say, because nothing else matters. Everybody says, you've gone all folks, you're so brilliant with your finance career. You're so brilliant with that Hawking trial, Kevin. I can go across a Hawking wall you've never seen. I look at my Hawking trial on my kitchen table every day. Sits there, and it breaks my heart because I am the person, the artist at my soul. That's why I can relate to Megan Rice. That's where I can play. The most authentic, purest people I've ever met in my life and I've ever seen are plowshares. They are the real fucking deal. They're not Helen Caldecott. They're not Chris Busby. They're not Arnie Gundershield. They're not any of them. These fucking people are the real, and they are anti-nuclear. They're and not just anti-nuclear weapons. They're anti-nuclear power because it is the same thing. And somehow we think nuclear power is this magic. Nuclear power is, again, to extract natural resources. They're uranium mines. They're dirty, filthy pigs is what they are. I'm not afraid. I really am afraid. I'm not afraid of anyone, any place, anyhow. I'm not. After going through this good fight, I was given 3% chance to live. Got down to 119 pounds. I held on, and I fought. I'm a tough kid because of my dad. I'm a tough kid growing up on that ranch in this spiritual place. My path is rooted like Megan Rice's path is rooted. That's why I can relate to that little woman so dramatically, because her parents are my parents. Her mentors are my mentors. Dorothy Day, Dr. Rice, her incredible mom, them are the same people that raised me. They raised all of us. We forgot. We put on our hairspray, and we went for the money. And you don't have any. That's because you lost the truth. You know, you go get guns and freaking things, and they're going to protect you. You know, you some gold. I was taught when I was a kid not to worship gold and not to worship materialistic things. That's what I was taught. But that's where we go, and we do it. I got to tell you the biggest irony, and I'll put up a video, and this video is amazing. I walk out of the courtroom. I do my radio show, and I apologize for it being so muffled. It was brutally cold. I stood outside in that cold, and, of course, the microphone was having problems with the cold weather. It was muffled in there, and so been out there. It was very cold. Been inside the courtroom. I'm very tired. It's been 2-3 days just going back and forth, on and on. So I'm like, I want to walk up to the tomato and get some soup, get some coffee, which is a cool place. They got good food. And so I'm walking up there. There's 3 young 20-something-year evangelical preachers standing, taking turns practicing, preaching in Crest Park, looking up at the TVA headquarters in the blizzard. I walk up to them, preaching Christianity. Oh, yeah. Nobody was listening. They're taking turns one after another, practicing. Megan Rice says, nope. Is right now, as we sit, the most powerful Christian in the world is being sent to prison, been in prison for something she didn't do. And she would tell you love them for they know not what they do. Where'd we hear that story? 2014 years ago? Oblivious to it. Didn't want to talk to me about it. I'm like, really? 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 Take turns so I could go to them. Over time in history, the metaphors were gigantic that day. The nuclear industry is a cartel. It is a mob. Evil, evil, evil. And I tell people in Knoxville, Tennessee, and even in Utah, they're arguing with me, oh, you guys pull all this funding out, which we already pulled all the funding out, but that Patriot Act gave them carte blanche and they secretly get it now. No, it won't. Bolster your economy. We have 70 years of this filth piled up everywhere. It'll take the greatest scientists in the world to take the whole infrastructure. It'll happen, mark my words. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It should have happened a long time ago. Unless the world comes to an end with Fukushima. And I love these people who say, oh, God, Ellen Carter got there. Oh, no. Oh, really? What the fuck does she know? None of them know. None of us know, because it's never happened before. Playing God, beyond playing God. Experimenting, playing American roulette. Well, this wheel is all not green zeros. Every number on this roulette wheel is double red zeros. Dead red. The dread of red. Thomas Ackerman. I hand-delivered our paintings that Thomas Ackerman and I have worked for a year and a half on. We've worked for a year and a half on these things. You've seen them by hanging them on my clothesline. I've been painting and doing everything I can for Megan and Michael and Greg from the day they got sentenced. I hand-delivered those to them, and they guaranteed me that they would get them. They were so happy. They loved them. In the greatest potluck in human history. I'll be in that courtroom. I'll be sitting in the front freaking row on February 18th. I'll be there in support of them. Because this story is going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Megan Rice could have picked anything she wanted. She's that brilliant. She's that genius. She's a genius, by the way. She's the real deal beyond. She's sainthood. The one thing that I think people need to come away with is just this fact. Open up the nuclear debate, open up the energy debate, them debates are over. What part of Chernobyl don't you get? What part of Fukushima don't you get? By the way, I'll be at Diablo Canyon February 14th on the pier, at the pier, San Luis Obispo. That's where we'll set up shop. I'll be down there. I'll post all the details. Remember this. Under the Constitution of the United States of America, not your First and Second Amendment fairy tales, you make them up, you Michael lunatics. By the way, his house in foreclosure. $600,000 to the bad, and you can watch the video with me and him if he lies to me right on camera. Right here on YouTube. It's right there. He's the biggest fraud and phony. He represents the fraud and the phony. Let's talk about the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th due process. This is I talked to a European who lived in Knoxville on the plane. He says, how is she possibly ever even charged? How did she possibly do one? I don't care what she did. I says, yeah, you got it. The whole world's a gas. She's been in jail for how long? Still has not sentenced. In a holding facility that's set up for a temporary holding facility, 7 months, 55 years. See the Algiers, she's wiping her nose. This is cruel and unusual punishment. Oh, it's absolutely cruel. It's the cruelest thing I've ever heard of in my life. It's so grotesque. It is obscene. It pisses me off to no end. I've never been so upset about anything in my entire life. It reminds me of the murder of my father. When my father died, oh, curse the spite that I was ever born to set this right. My brother was like, give it up. I'm like, fuck you. I will never let this be, ever, to the day I die. I found out this from Megan's nieces. A family member of theirs was at the Bikini Atoll surveillance group. That's one of the things that postured Megan to go this route. She watched him die of leukemia at 42 years old. AML, the exact disease that's in my body. The American government can kiss my ass. Wrap yourself in a flag. Murder my father, drafted Marine, beautiful person like that. Murder so many. Abuse an 83-year-old, the greatest, the most spiritual, powerful person on this planet right here today. Fighting the greatest monster. That's her term, nuclearism. I gladly give my life to cure this planet of the most evil weapon. Plowshares. By the way, in the East Tennessee Museum, which is grand and magnificent, they have a whole dynamic on Oak Ridge. Well, I'll put up some photographs. That museum is grand. And I'll say this to Knoxville, Tennessee, their media, 5 stars. They've covered this story, and people in Knoxville are coming around to this story. I talked to people before, and they're like, God, Kevin, I didn't know the truth till I really talked to you. Oh, there'll be a different dynamic. The Pope doesn't want to get involved in this? Okay. You know, none of you want to get involved. The so-called spiritual community, well, let me tell you, the real spiritual community was there, and it wasn't just Catholicism. That cuts way over this side. There's a big banner in that church that says, all religions believe in justice. This isn't about religion. It really has nothing to do with religion. You know, most atheists love Jesus Christ's philosophy. How can you not love Megan Rice's philosophy? One day, all of you are going to have to look in the mirror, and because this is you and I that's done this to Megan Rice, because we got afraid. When she was sentenced, they went to her and they said, it was Longshanks. This is William Walter Reed. That was a real man, by the way. Megan, we found you guilty. Hammered her out like that. This is the abuse of a 4'0", 83-year-old nun. Gemini regrets. Yes, Your Honor. I forgot, what is it? You know, beg for mercy, beg for mercy. But I didn't do this 70 years ago. Off to jail, not even released to await freaking sentencing. Abuse. This is freaking abuse. It's against the Constitution. It's against the law. Everything they've done to her. She should have been given a medal, her and Greg and Michael, for exposing the fraud of Y-12, the illegal activity of Y-12. It's illegal what they're doing out there. And then they're robbing us as far as protecting us. Pay the Dragon Slayer. It's irony out at Oak Ridge High School. They have a big memorial to 9/11 as the calendar opposite 3/11 because nothing else matters 3/11. You guys want to go into now about Fukushima? You want to go now about things? And, you know, it's just like the economy. This usury-based economy, and she spoke about that in that courtroom. The incredible nun. You guys stay in denial all you want. You get your dog with snuggies and curl up. Not me. Not fucking me. No way. I'm not afraid. I'm not crawling on the freaking train car. And I'm not going to take the shower. And the United States can have their fucking money. They can murder my father and not give my mother 1 penny in compensation. Not a medal, not a dime. Fuck their money. They can kiss my ass. I don't want their money. I have nothing to do with them and your false bravado. Wrap yourself up in the flag and your Foxconn dynamic. Not me. Not me. I'm disgusted. I'm beyond disgusted. Oh, I'll go buy a gun. I'm going to shoot a isotope out of the freaking thing. That's all you want to posture and groom. Not me. I want to talk about the Fifth Circuit. I want to talk about all the amendments, all 27 of them. The Constitution. I am not afraid of any of you. I will tell that to everybody anyhow. I am not afraid. The African race is not afraid. What's to be afraid of? Because we are all terminal. I mean, right out of the lips of one of my very best friends who got sick the very same time I got sick. Paul. You look at some of my old, there's his comments all over the time. There's a major group of us that followed along from Fukushima. I went crazy. That as I got leukemia, it pulled into everybody that was getting leukemia in our fight. I mean, it's one big dynamic. As he's dying, I'm with him. He's calming me down. He died a year ago. It's 3 years. Him and Carla both died a day apart. Kevin, we're all terminal. Your arrogance, you think, keep thinking. Your lies and all for what? So you think you're on the winning team? You think you have some money? You ain't got no fucking money. You know, you want to freaking worship your gold freaking gods and your gold idols, your gold bars. What? Because Max Kaiser and freaking Alex Jones told you and Fox told you to worship your silver? I don't give a damn what the return is on it, which it's been a horrible return. You know, I understand about you have to afford it. I'm a finance guy. Follow my lead. You will become rich, fine, but that's not rich. It has nothing to do with wealth and money. You know, got to get a gun to protect myself from my Walmart shit on the fucking wall. Wow. Why don't you protect yourself from the ignorance? It's called post-ignorance. The post-ignorance project. We all need to be like Megan Rice. You know, her cohorts, by the way, the woman ordained today who held my hand wrote the answer to the Kansas City judge, because they got to that judge. They were in symphony with them. She wrote the answers. They got to that judge, and the old 80-year-old activist who spent freaking decades in jail says to her, African-American judge, well, you broke the law. Yeah, because the park broke the law. These ain't laws. What did Megan and Greg do? Did they break the law? I don't think they broke the law. How could they break the law? The secure facility with all that freaking nightmarish, hellish, evil material that's sitting in there. It's not being guarded. It's a dangerous place on him. By the way, Oak Ridge is burning nuclear waste into the atmosphere. Know that. I've been reporting that for 2 years. Everybody says, oh, you're crazy. Oh, no. Radnets balloons right here in Utah. What do you think killed balloons out here? They don't care. You know, none of you care. We kill the animals. As Christina and I thought, Kevin, do you believe that Fukushima has changed the DNA of every single thing on Earth? Of course. Hello. All the animals and dying. She spoke of that speech, by the way, inside that courtroom. She moved that judge. I can tell you right here, right now. Out there. Oh, my. There were tears in every freaking person in there, including me. You know, I went out to get some meat, and, you know, I'll tell you how it is with me. Megan's power is with me. I should have died. You know, for me to get leukemia right now, survival rate's nothing. I mean, it took miracle after miracle after miracle for me to be here. I don't know how I'm alive. This diagnosis, the type of disease I got, you know, there's no other answer, but it's not the fake bravado ones. Oh, I'm religious because I say God's with me. Oh, no. Oh, no. In the reality of the truth, I stand strong. I'll stand united with her. I don't care. You know, I don't care. I never did. I've never been afraid. I will never live my life afraid. As my father never lived afraid. Has America become afraid? Oh, the terrorists are going to get us. The boogeyman's going to get us. We are afraid. Cowards. America, home of the cowards. Megan Rice. She has to be our point and our bulldog. Well, we got a couple men, dude. We got Greg and Michael. The old activist put his hands on me and gave me a blessing. I think it's an incredible story. And I've done a lot of activism. Led the Million Mass Movement in D.C. Led the freaking charge shutting down San Onofre. Eugene, Oregon, had the hippie crew in LA to try to knock the mega horn out of my mouth. All this year. And San Diego with the USS Reagan people fighting for the lawsuit. Over and over. In San Francisco, at Berkeley, fighting against the Livermore lab and that freaking head of the snake. It's a two-headed snake, a three-headed snake, and it's three heads. Oak Ridge, Tennessee, right behind my house, Utah. The Livermore lab in San Francisco and the Bay Area of California. There's where the three-headed snake lives. You see, reason I went up there and protested. I followed the rules. We don't have to jail anymore because we can't. Look what they do to us. Under the Patriot Act, they bury us under the prisons now because we're not protected by the United States Constitution. Megan Rice exercised her constitutional rights, her rights in the United States Constitution to plead not guilty. The judge says, I want to start with just a couple $1,000 in restitution and, a couple years in jail. She exercised her constitutional right to plead not guilty. Oh, if you plead not guilty, we're going to abuse the hell out of you. We're going to torture you. We're going to give you 7 years in jail. We're going to hold you in a facility just like you're at Gitmo. Like a common, and we're going to treat you like you are Muhammad Ali. Well, she's the opposite. And they abuse her, kick the can while they torture her in a freaking jail. That's torture. That's torture. Yeah, I'd like to take Dick Cheney and waterboard that punk myself. Even if it's freaking heart from an executed Chinese prisoner. That's what this thing, the contract, is pay the dragon slayers. They rob you in Tennessee. They're robbing you all over. And this is not a Tennessee issue. That money's a federal facility. It's a federal facility. And nuclearism is a global issue. Doesn't matter where these nuclear accidents happen. Doesn't matter. It's like France, Germany. I fight with those scientists left and right as my work shows that it's killed 40 million. I can tell you right now, my PhD, my work unequivocally proves that nuclear fallout is cancer. It's arguable. I prove it over and over and over. The Nevada test site, the 350 open-air test, Chernobyl killed 40 million. In France and Germany, France will say, it doesn't kill anybody because we're all pro-nuclear. Germany, 1,700 to 17,000 a year every year. That's their work and their data. They bullet each other. It was said in that courtroom by her, too. She, loved the same stuff that I write about. There's no borders. You can draw the lines of the borders you want. You can point your freaking big bully freaking vehicle and look what we did at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We're going to do it to you again. Oh, we use white phosphorus on our own Marines. In Fallujah, we annihilated an ancient biblical culture. That's where the Euphrates and the Tigris meet, that biblical place. Think about what we did to it. For hundreds of thousands of years, Dick Cheney and his freaking army, the devil himself, sprayed white phosphorus on his own men. On his own men. They don't care. They've gone too far now to eat their own. Oh, they're going to buy their own bunkers. Alex Jones trying to sell freaking bunkers now. What a con man. Kaiser, I love my Kaiser. I'll buy silver con men. They're all con men for their freaking money, their wealth. Helen Keller got write another book. Chris Busby write another book. Arnie Gundershill. I see one of them there. Oh, I saw all the Bushers people there. I saw all the real activists there. Every one of them were there, and that was a line drawn in the sand. A place in time that was recorded by me, with the angels watching over me. The angels that watch over me are the people who died of cancer, and I watched it. My father. In that hospital room, how many people? I carry in my back pocket, I carry an obituary of a 35-year-old, incredible, beautiful female that I was in there with. They thought they were going to save her. 4 young children. Did everything right. Hardworking, and physically incredible, spiritually incredible, everything. And I'm not talking walking into a church and freaking saying this posture and groom bullshit you guys call freaking, oh, God, everything's for a reason, God, this. Tim Shell, thou mayest be east of Eden. I'm not talking about that type of spirituality. I don't know what God is. I have no clue. I know most atheists love the philosophy of Jesus Christ. So do I. The philosophy and the truth. Those angels are with me. Those people that have died, I watch them over. You know how many times I've watched this death now? Of leukemia. That's what it is. Not chronic leukemia. Let's go smoke some weed. You'll be okay. Yeah, I love you guys. I know your alternative, all cure for cancer. Yeah, you go fucking try that shit. When the doctor walks in your room and says, you got acute leukemia, you got 2 months to live. That's what they told me. You're going to a surreal state. I was told by multiple doctors by Christmas. I was in so much pain. It was horrific. It was beyond fucking horrific. People have no clue. Oh, I fucking know. Eat, sleep, drink it? No, I probably sleep with it. Megan Rice knows. She watched him die at 42. His hand as he was dying. She knows. All these people. There were people that showed up and said, okay, what sent me on this path, Kevin? That's why I'm here. My daughter died of leukemia in Chicago. My daughter died of freaking worked at a nuclear reactor. You wouldn't believe how many of those people were there. Most spiritual group in the United States in a long, well, maybe ever. I'm worried about her. I'm really worried about Megan. I'm worried about her as a person, as a human. I'm worried about an 83-year-old woman being abused in the United States who didn't do anything wrong. $53,000. The prosecutor asked for $300,000. Really? Really? For a little bit of chain link? I'm an ex-contractor. I'll go do it for free. Oh, you need to sandblast some freaking paint off some concrete? Did that for years. You know? I got a sandblast out. You can go rent one at freaking any rental yard for the day for $100. You know, a couple bags of silica. There's another $20. They'll blast it off. Chain link, rewire, replace the section of the chain link. Couple $100. Oh, there's blood on things. Little teeny vials of blood of the activists. I hope they never fucking get that off. I hope it's fucking inbred and it burnt inside that place forever. She did what had to be done. It had to be done. It had to be done. It had to be her. If she paid too heavy of a burden, yes, yes, yes. Set her fucking free. Anybody in this America, set her free. And get somehow the Pope, whatever, set her free. Greg and Michael are tough-ass fucking dudes. They'll tell you straight up, you be incarcerated. You go right for it. They are unwavering. I heard their statements. They're men, they're strong men. They can handle it. Megan Rice needs to be set free. Now, today, yesterday, before they kill her. Person. She's a person. She's an 84-year-old elderly woman. What understand do you fucks do not get about she's a woman? She's elderly. No respect for our elders. No respect for spirituality. She did us a favor. She did us a justice because the American Industrialized Police Force refuses to do what we paid them to do. The Nuclear Regulatory Committee, the nuclear refuses to do what they should have done. She did what they should have done. We're paying our taxes without representation. Cruel and unusual punishment? Oh, it's absolutely fucking cruel. Unusual? Fuck no, not misplaced. The abuse. I mean, you think about this. I mean, read it. I don't care what crime. I don't care what crime. It's not even really a crime. She didn't commit a crime. Constitution is so shredded, and it's not just the first and second. You spin it and spin it. What? You ever notice everything they spin? All this so-called alternative radio, which is, I mean, it's worse than the mainstream now. Bad guns and bullets. It's all about your money. Now, Alex Jones, I see selling bunkers. You know how much those bunkers cost? I really want to live underground. That's where I want to live, and I can come out and be okay. I'd rather be fucking dead. I don't want to be the fucking so-called 1%. I don't want to be them. I don't give a fuck if I'm poor and don't have a penny. I don't care. Because having cancer and going without food and water for a month and being abused, I know what counts. The food, the air, the water, the love of each other. Free Megan Rice. I'll see you at Diablo Canyon on the 14th. I'll put up a video the next day or two. I'll be there. I'll be in that courtroom holding the hands of those same people on the front fucking row on the 18th. Stand.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Swingate, 311, whatever you want to call it.